Hi there, welcome along to the third in this beginner series of row-alongs, out in the glorious sunshine with a lawnmower in the background. Anyway, two quick things to say. The first one to say is that there isn't going to be a warm-up before we start today's session. It's just going to be a 20-minute row with no warm-up. We are going to start lightly, but if you want to start moving while I'm doing my next little bit of talking, just to get yourself going, by all means do. Next up, you'll probably realize this, but there's two versions of this beginner workout. There's one with music, which will hopefully drown out the lawnmower, and another one without music, which will just be me talking, but that will let you run Mixcloud or another YouTube tab or something else to choose your own music to row along to while you're listening to what I'm saying. All right? Now today's session is going to be a 20-minute row, as I said, and what we're going to do is we're going to break into 4-minute chunks with 1 minute rest. We're going to do that 4 times, and we're going to be going faster every minute. And then at the end, we're going to take a 30-second rest, and then we're going to do a 30-second sprint with a higher stroke rate, okay? Follow along with me for all this, it's absolutely fine. If you're watching this on the video, then just follow me for stroke rate. You'll see when I take a stroke, you take a stroke. If you're listening to this on the podcast, then just when you hear me take a stroke, you take a stroke. But hopefully you've got a monitor in front of you that shows you what stroke rate you're doing. So anyway, let's get into this. So before we do any row, the 3 things we have to do first is set up our resistance or drag factor, depending on what kind of machine you are using. Now in a Concept 2, that's drag factor, and it's controlled by a lever on the right-hand side of the machine. If you don't know anything about drag factor, then once you're done, check out the video I have on the YouTube channel, but just set it at a point where you feel you can comfortably connect with your legs and arms, but it doesn't feel like you're rowing a cruise ship down a river, okay? Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height if you can, if it's a monitor that lets you adjust. And finally, your foot straps should be set at a point where you're able to roll to the front of the machine comfortably with your shins pointing in a vertical position. You may not have the option to adjust your foot straps, in which case you're a bit lost, but hey, let's just row together, make sure you're comfortable, set it to a point where you're okay and you're going to be safe and not getting injured. All right? I find I'm having to shout over that lawnmower. So here we go then. So it's a 20-minute row, and we're going to be starting at 20 strokes per minute. And your intensity is going to be round about 50%, okay? So you're just going to be good shove with the legs, good pull with the arms, but it's not going to feel like you're rowing a regatta, a big fast sprint, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, go. So just follow me for stroke rate. And like I say, 50% intensity. If you want to look at it that 0% intensity is when you're sitting at home on the couch eating a bag of quavers, okay? 100% intensity is when you're going absolutely max as fast as you can. So we're somewhere in between where you're putting in some effort into the machine, making sure your heart rate is going up, your breathing's probably going up a bit, but you're still able to hold the conversation, like I am now. And then what we're going to do is at the end of this minute, we're going to go up to 22 strokes a minute, and in order to do so, you have to increase the intensity slightly. 1 more stroke. Here we go. So in order to increase your stroke rate, 2 things have to happen. You have to increase your drive speed, which is what we're doing by pushing a little bit harder with the legs. But you also have to recover a little bit quicker. So if you drive a little bit quicker and you recover a little bit quicker, it shouldn't feel like it's a massive increase in what you're doing. And that recovery is all done by getting the handle over your knees before you bend them. Okay, so handle away over your knees. All right, so as we come to the end of this minute, we're going to go up to 24. 1 more stroke, up to 24 strokes a minute. So just to go over that again, when you pull the handle into your chest, get it straight back out again. Don't pause. Just straight back out, straight arms over your knees. And then that causes your body to lean forwards, and then once your hands are past your knees, you bend the knees and you slide easily to the front of the machine. If you find that you have to throw the handle over your knees, you're bending them too early. Okay, 2 more strokes. 1 more. Here we go, 26 strokes a minute. And again, just a little bit more of a push from your legs and maybe a slightly faster return to the front of the machine again. It's all about rhythm. It's all a flow. You'll notice there's never a point when I'm stopped. Everything flows into each other like a good Tai Chi class. So I'm not jagged and jerky. I'm not stopping. I'm not throwing that handle out really stupidly quick. I'm just fluid. Okay, 2 strokes. 1 more. And now we get a minute rest. Now we're going to do that 4 times. 4 minutes going faster and faster. Rest for a minute. 4 minutes, rest. And that's going to give you a chance to just recover. Again, 20 minutes might be the longest you've ever spent on a machine. So having these, here's a lot more, having these 1 minute rests in between, just give you a chance to recover, reset, and importantly, reseat your seat. Because it might be that you're getting butt pain because this is the first time in a long time you've rowed. And that pressure of your sit bones squashing your glutes can take its toll after a while. So if you just reseat your seat, it takes that pressure off and will hopefully mean the sensation isn't too tough. Right, 10 seconds to go. Slide forwards, grab your handle. Get ready for 20 strokes a second again in 3, 2, 1, go. Obviously I meant 20 strokes a minute there. 20 strokes a second is likely to be the speed that lawnmower is going at. Now, you will find that between the first 2 beginner's rows and this one, I am going to be talking technique quite a lot. 2 reasons for that. 1, it helps pass the time, let's be fair. But if this is you just starting on your rowing journey, if you can try and grind in a good technique now, you'll be sorted for years of rowing. Right, 3 strokes, 2, 1. Now let's go up to 22 again. Because poor technique, as well as affecting your power output, a poor technique can cause injuries that may either keep you off the machine because you're injured or because you don't enjoy rowing anymore. And all because you weren't rowing with a good technique, not because it's got anything to do with the rowing machine. So let's quickly cover the main topics of technique when we hit the 24 strokes a minute chunk, which is in 2 strokes time. Here we go. So, main thing to say is that rowing is a pushing with the legs sport, okay? Push from the front with straight arms. Push, and only at the back of the stroke do you finally pull with the arms, okay? Don't pull from the front, just push with the legs while leaning into the front, keeping your arms nice and straight. And then when you're about halfway through the stroke, that's when you lean back and pull in your arms powerfully to a finish. All right, 3, 2, 1. 26 strokes a minute. Again, a bit more of a push from the legs. Match the rhythm with your handle away for the recovery. Remember, I'm not saying pull harder to increase your stroke rate and pace. I'm saying push harder with the legs. So that's where the power comes from. That's where your increased drive speed comes from. But do try and hold that forward lean and keep your arms nice and straight. 3, 2, last one. 1. Minute rest again. So driving from the front, arms straight, forward lean, then swing your back, pull in your arms. Easier said than done, of course, but have a drink. But we spend time practicing this. This is why we do so many 18, 20, 22 rows. It's to give us that time to grind in the rhythm and the technique. I'm constantly working on mine. I'm very much a do what I say, not what I do kind of guy. Okay, 12 seconds to go. Then we go back through it all again. Pick up your handle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Back to 20 strokes a minute. And that 50% intensity. Each time we're just building up from that 50%, and then as we increase stroke rate, we're maybe 55, then maybe 60, and then finishing 65. This isn't a row that takes you to 100% yet. Maybe the last 30-second sprint, but through the bulk of this row, you shouldn't ever really go above around about 65% of your power. Okay, one more stroke. Let's go up to 22s. A little bit more power. Slightly faster recovery. You should find you're going a little bit faster. Whether that's on a speed time thing on your monitor, like the 500 meter split time on the Concept 2, or an increase in calorie burn, or watts expended, whatever your monitor shows you, you should find that as you increase your stroke rate, you're going faster. Okay, 3 strokes. Okay, 24s. Faster still. And we have been boosting to 25 there. Don't worry about it. We'll settle into 24 again. Think about your posture at the front of the machine. I want you leaning in, but hinged forwards over your hips. I don't want you bent forwards through the lower back or upper. It's a tilt over the hips. And then you tilt backwards to the back of the stroke. Okay, 2 more strokes. 1 more. 26 for 1 minute, and we get a rest again. Your heart rate should be climbing by the time you get to these 26s, if you have a heart rate monitor on. But even if you don't, you should be feeling the increased workload on your body as you go through these 1 minute chunks, increasing your pace. Okay, 20 seconds to go. Just a few more strokes and you get another 1 minute rest. 3, 2, last one. 1. Feel free to rock up and down the rail. Keep those muscles moving. Grab your water bottle. I prefer to keep moving during rest periods rather than doing a light rowing. I prefer to leave all of my energy for the actual rowing. So I'll tend to do this, then I'll stop, reseat my seat, give a chance for those squashed muscles to just open up and breathe a bit. Then probably means that your sit bones will end up sitting on a different part of the muscle. The trick is to then learn how to adjust that during a row. 7 seconds to go, pick up your handle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, same again, starting at 20 strokes per minute, around about 50% intensity. Because really, that butt pain you may be experiencing as you come to rowing for the first time can be caused by just being the first time you've moved this way. Because regardless, you're using your muscles in a way you probably haven't used them before. And when you factor that you're also sitting on them with your sit bones squashing them, it's no wonder you're a bit tender at first. But after you've done 4 to 5 sessions, that's 4 to 5, not 45. Things get better. Last stroke. Let's go up to 22. I mean, if I'm off the machine, if I go on holiday for a couple of weeks, and then I come back to rowing again, the first 2 or 3 sessions are uncomfortable for me too, because my muscles have kind of gotten out of the habit of being used this way while being sat on. But posture is important too. When you're at the front of the machine, up on your sit bones, tilting forwards through the hips, and then crucially, a braced core at the back to prevent your tailbone tucking underneath you. 2 more strokes. 1 more. Up to 24. Because that tailbone tucking underneath, when that happens, your sit bones, instead of just pressing one localized area, if you collapse your hips and tilt them backwards, in the back of the stroke, what happens is your entire, or your sit bones at least, roll over a much larger area of your glutes, causing that real butt pain that you may have experienced. One more. Up to 26 for the last time. So, if your backside hurts, rather than reaching for a seat pad, maybe look at your posture. Just hold that finish point and analyze what's going on with your sit bones and your tailbone. You really want to just swing from a forward tilt, backward tilt over your hips. Okay, we're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 30-second rest, and I'll count you in for a 30-second sprint. Now try and go as fast as you can while trying to maintain a good stroke technique, okay? Remember to push with the legs, arms straight, only pull at the end. 10 seconds to go. Get that handle up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. That'll be up around about 30 strokes a minute here, if you want to follow me. But again, it's all about rhythm. So push, pull. Push, pull, away. Okay? 2 more. 1 more. And that is us done. Hopefully, that was a really quick 20-minute roll for you. We're building up. This is the 20 minutes after starting off at 10 minutes. So of course, I'm going to do 2 more, taking us up to half an hour. But hopefully we're building up your time on the machine. You're getting the endurance, your muscles are getting used to working for longer and longer periods of time. And crucially, you're getting the technique locked in and you're getting used to the feeling of just adding a little bit of power to go a little bit faster along with your stroke rate, rather than just sitting down and hammering it every single time and ending up on the floor, which is just as fun, but you'll end up burning yourself out and maybe injured. So this is a good road to do. So anyway, thank you very much for being here. Make sure to leave me a comment. Let me know how you got on. Also, let me know whether you went for the music version or the non-music version, so I know what one to drop, if nothing else. Thank you so much for being here. Stay safe, be well. Bye-bye.